I am Sugunan. Today in this video we are going to learn about basic programming with Python. Python is a cross-platform scripting language, but still it supports WOP as well. So in programming, normally we go with a few basic concepts. Sequence, selection, iteration. These are the ones repeatedly we are doing in a programming language. And especially in iteration, we will have count control iteration and condition control iteration. So the breaking logic of the iteration. Now we will see first the sequence with an example, then selection and iteration. So in the sequence, I am picking an example which is with some basic maths operations regularly we will be using. So for easiness, I already write the code and keep ready. So I will just copy it, explain and execute and show. So see here, this is the first example I took. So simply what happening here is a variable in Python only should start with a letter or underscore. It can't start with a number or hyphen in front of that, even in any symbols. So I introduced two variables, var1 and var2. And next thing is we don't have to declare the data type. It will automatically detect. But internally it manages the data type. So this will have variable 1 and 2, so 4 and 2. Then I am assigning that to another variable called sum. So var1 plus var2. So maths operations, the basic operation, addition, subtraction, dividing and multiplication, those are going with like plus for addition, minus for subtraction, division. We do like this. So now I am doing an addition. Then I am going to print the value and see in the console. While printing the value, so one point you can notice here, I am printing a string and I wanted to concatenate it with the variable. The problem here, if the variable is an integer number, it will throw an error message because it is trying to add that with a string. But if both are string, then it will concatenate and show. So let's see in this console how it look like. So 4 into 4 plus 2, it's 6, it's showing. So let's see if I remove this string conversion. So str is a function will convert other variable data types into a string. So that it happened here. Now I am executing the same program. It will throw an error because it's trying to add an integer with a variable. So normally if we are having a non-string data type, we have to convert it if we want to concatenate. So that is one thing. Now we'll go for few more maths operations here. So let's see another example. In this one, to define a power operator. The power operator. So normally, if I am saying 2 to the power of 3 here. So what I can do is I can put double asterisk to straight away say. So this is a function I am using. So to the power of 3. Simply what we can do is first number double asterisk, then double asterisk, then the power. So it will multiply 2 3 times 2 to the power of 3. At the same time, I can approach it through a inbuilt maths function. Or we can use the inbuilt maths function. They are suggested here. The base will be maths function. What we can do is first parameter is the base, second parameter will be 3. So both will do the same operation. So either one we can. So it will we'll see what is output. First line and second line will show. Again see here sequence. So first line executed first and second will be the second. So see here. So we can see both are returning 8 because 2 multiplied by 2 4, then 4 multiplied by 2 again. So because power 3, 8 is 8. Now we'll see what is the selection operations and how to do the selection operation. So in the programming languages, selection help us to decide the path based on a choice or based on a condition. So we'll take this first example. In this first example, simply we want to compare numbers, and based on the numbers we are going to make the selection. So see the first expression. Simply we check whether b is greater than a, and then we have AND operator. So it's simply the word AND, or we can use OR also. then D is greater than or equal to C. So even equal will be taken. If these two conditions are satisfying, the first block will be executed. Print B is greater than A and D is greater than or equal to C. One more point we have to note it down here. After that if condition, we have to give an indentation just to say that is part of this if condition. So then again else going to the parallel line to the if, the else if, then else also will go to the parallel line to the if. All the inner portions of the code should have an indentation. Normally the PEP8 standard says best to keep 4 space as one indentation, but even a tab space, 3 space, all will work. So we are using 4 space. So after the if condition, I am trying the else if condition. In the else if, I am checking whether A is equal to B. So we have to give double equal. If A is equal to B, and if first condition fail only, it will come to the second condition and execute. Additionally, as I said, the indentation, see that. So if I want to put a multi-line code under the first if condition, simply give a line break and give the same indentation, the 4 space. So all will fall under the same if condition. It's same as in other programming languages, we are wrapping with a bracket. So let's execute this code and see what is the output. Okay, so that is returning B is greater than A and D is greater than or equal to C. Now we'll see another example. So currently we see in a number comparisons. So we'll see if a string comparison come, how we do. And especially in this example, we are going to see the string for substring matching. So not the complete string matching, we want to see whether a certain string having the substring inside there. That is the main target for this example. So see, there is a variable available, var1 equal to B is greater than A and D is greater than or equal to C. In this example, so first block we want to check whether greater, that word available in the variable string. So simply what we have to do is if the string what we are looking for, that should be the smaller string in the first, then second, next one we have to say in, that is a keyword, then we are putting the variable which is having the bigger string on top of that one. Then in the if condition we are checking for the true condition. If the greater word is there, the first block will be executed, otherwise else. Same way we can go for the opposite as well. So opposite means the condition not in. So simply not keyword we are putting after the small string, then the variable, so not in. So the second one, the opposite condition will come, and if the string not available, then only it will return true. So these are the two examples. Let's execute the script and see what is the output. So we can see the greater than greater word is available in the first one, and second one less than not available, so that also executing the true block. So this is how we compare the substring in Python. But there is one more way of doing a selection in a massive else if chain. To do that one, best option is switch case. So it will directly go to that point where that condition satisfied rather than fallback of else ifs. So the problem in Python, switch case is not available, but they have another way of achieving this, that is this function. So we'll see what is this function does. So Python is good for array kind of data. Mix of data type can be used in the middle. At the same time, different type of arrays or bundle of values can be taken into a variable. So one is list, just values in a chain with kind of index based key 0, 1, 2, 3, or we can go for key value pair, that is called document. So this is a document based scenario. So simply in Python, if we are defining a function, we simply say def, then function name. If parameter passing there, we can use it, otherwise just a function name. Then any operation again with the indentation we will use. Then again come back to the first line, then another function name, then with indentation whatever under that function we are defining. So like that we define 4 functions: 0, square, even, prime. After that we are introducing a dictionary. So in the dictionary we give key as number, but a key can be anything. Then without giving a string based option, we are giving kind of object. So straight away we are giving the function names here listed here. Then normally in Python, if we are calling so this is actually what it does is, it is we can utilize a function name through a variable. That's what they are trying to do here. So simply option is the variable. On the variable, to call the dictionary we have to give variable name, then the key. So in here the integer base key, so we are calling the key 2. After calling the key, since it is a function, you should have a bracket at the end, close, open and close, just to pass the parameter. So currently we don't have parameter, but still we have to put the open and close bracket. So normally scripting languages, even PHP, have this nature. We can pass the variable name as function. So dynamic function name we can achieve. So we can dynamically select the function name. So this is the way. So let execute and see. So currently number 2 is even. So even means this function will be executed. It will say n is an even number. So let's see that. N is an even number. So it is executing this function. So it's another way of achieving switch case in a scripting language as a selection option on top of if, else if and else kind of thing. So this is for multiple scenario we can go through. Now we'll go for iteration. So iteration is another way in programming languages we use, and frequently we are using it to do repeated tasks. So I have some blocks of iteration. So mostly we are going to see while and the for loop. In this scenario, for each also we will cover with for loop. So this have little different way of handling while loop and all. So in this option, straight away I am having a while loop, but I will go for a little advanced while loop here. So what we are doing here, right? In this while loop, first we are introducing a variable. That variable we are assigning a value called 1, because a while loop should execute until the condition. So while keyword is there, inside there this condition, until this condition is satisfied, it will continuously execute. So we we initiate the variable and assign 1 for the variable, then the while loop. Inside the while loop, we need to make sure exit criteria. Simply, if this variable not changing, it will run forever. That's a risk. So what we do operations. So it also again indentation we can see here. All the operations should be under the same indentation. Then again you can see there is an if condition. Because the other operation should be below the if condition, we have to give further indentation on top of if condition. So that will be executed under the if condition only, otherwise it will always execute. So in this while loop, until the I is less than 6, it will execute, and inside the while loop, just to break it out, we are having the I increment. So anyway 6 times only it will run. So simply plus equal mean on top of this variable it will add 1 more, and that will happen after this line executed, right? So this is the way we give the but additionally we are having a logic. Normally these code standards are telling we should have a break operation, otherwise the standard problem is there. So in case if we fail here, additional break condition. So just you can see if I delete it, what will happen. See, there's a yellow color highlight. This is telling add a break statement or remove the else clause. So until we apply a else condition, this is kind of violation. It will execute anyway, but it's a violation according to Jason Lin. So that's why it's good to have a break condition. So I'm applying the same condition. The moment 6 achieved, it will execute the break. Even we can put 3, so it will break into 3. So whatever logic, it will break through and go. The else will be anyway executed the moment this while loop is finished. Even though we put break or not, at the end of the while loop, else will be executed. So this is normally other programming languages not having. Anyway, even though it's not having, the next line will be automatically executed. So we can achieve anything when the loop is finishing. But here they have a facility to do that. And it is non-mandatory field also. We can remove it, not a problem. Right? So having also fine, but removing also not a problem. End of the loop, we can identify this and execute. So let's see how it look like. So it's supposed to print 1 to 5. Then it, so here I'm putting 3. So since I'm putting 3, it should finish by 3. So we'll see how it goes. So 1 and 2 it executing. When the 3 came, the loop breaks, so it won't go to the next step. The increment we are doing after the print. So the 3 is there, but 3 won't be printed because this is the first line. So it's sequence. So this is one of the while loop iteration. So while loop condition covered. We will go for for loop. So still the same scenario coming in the for loop. So it's little different from the other programming languages for loop. We can see here. In the for loop, so again we assign a variable. Just this is the one catching the value on the certain iteration. Then there is a range function. In the range function, it will take from the first value, then up to the next value, second parameter. If third parameter is option, if I remove this one, it will be just by default 1 increment. But if I am adding something here, that can be that. So now it will be 3 plus 3 plus 3, like that it will go. So this is a 3 increment. Then what will happen is 2, 5, 8, like that it will go. And it will, we can have the break condition again here as well, and we can print and see what's going on. Else condition also executed as. So it's almost like a while loop. For loop also we can run with the range. So let's see how it goes. So 2, 5, 8, 11, then the final one. So actually this is a less than condition. If I put 11 here, this is a less than condition. It's not less than equal. So 11 won't be printed here. See, 11 not printed because this is less than condition, not less than or equal. But first, so additionally we have for each also in normal other programming languages where we doesn't consider the length of the element, but we want to iterate through all elements. So that's good if we check on the list like this one. So in this list 3 elements are there, so whatever amount of element can be there. So we can straight away access by a square bracket and a number also, but instead of going through number by number iteration, we are straight away iterating through the array values, so list values. This is kind of for each scenario in Python. So simply it will print one by one these values and finish it off. So all these values are printed out here. So this is all about selection, iteration, even sequence. Now little bit of double OP we can see. So later tutorials we can see with an example. So little bit of double OP concept. So in double OP also available in Python, including inheritance and all. So we are seeing a very simple how to define a simple class and methods and how to use that one. So see this example. We define a class name. So again, most of the time I am following the PEP8 standard, coding standard. So simply they wanted to name the file name all in small letters, and if multiple words are coming in the file name, we had to use first word, then underscore, then second word, like that, then .py as the extension. So the class name, I want to have my class, so simply in the file name I am mentioning my underscore class. But in the class name we have to use camel case, but the first letter is capital. So M capital, my class, C capital. After that one, again indentation, because it's a subset of a class, and method. Here we can have init function, it's optional. If we are having an init function, what we have to do, that is something equivalent to constructor. So in the init function, then it can be empty parameter, so no need to pass parameter. If we are passing parameter, we have to make sure always there will be a first parameter placeholder that is catching the instant, so the object of the class. So we have to define a variable and utilize that one. It is always the instant in the first method. Every method, the first parameter is the instant. So we have to make sure that is written here and captured. Then the variables can be our own parameters, which we are going to pass through when we are utilizing that. So on that one, we are creating attribute. So self is an object of the same thing, instant. On top of that, dot, then attribute, a variable. Any variable can be here. Then we are assigning the value from this parameter passing. Then in the second method, get value. So simply what we do is the same value we assign here, we are taking and returning back. Again on top of self, so globally within the function it's available. This is how we do it in Python. The first parameter always the instant. So if we are using parameter, we always have to reserve the first parameter for instant. Then go how to use on another file. So in the file we have to import the class. To import the class, simply by omitting the extension, we will tell the file name, from file name import, then the class name. Then if it is in the same folder, it will load that file and look for the class. After that we create an object name, so instantiating, simply calling the class name. In the class name we can see the init function we utilized, parameter passing. So first parameter we don't have to do anything there, it won't fall here. Second parameter is the one when we are calling the first parameter. So in this first parameter is 5, that will fall under second parameter value, first by default. That's one point we have to note carefully. After taking this second parameter, that parameter passed there, it is assigned to the variable. Then we are using that one, get value is the second method, we are using it. Then we are printing that one. So that's how we use a class OOB concept in Python. So let's see, it's supposed to print this assigned value 5, because we take it on the object and pass it to this value, and we are printing and seeing how it look like. Sorry, I was executing the previous script. Okay. So 5 is called. So that's all for today. Let me know if this tutorial helped you to learn better, and you can comment it on the comment section. We will meet on the next tutorial with some example. Mostly this Python will be used for automation, so we will meet with an automation scenario, how to implement that. In that place we will see some additional functionality, how to use it and all. Thank you for watching my video.